Hi, this is Chloe here in Whispers. Today I'm going to be unboxing a self-published tarot deck called the Venetian Tarot, which comes in this great big sturdy box, and it also comes with a little certificate saying that it's one of a limited edition of 500, and it also came with a little Eight of Cups card to kind of show a working piece of the process, kind of is what its title is. And this is a deck by an artist and illustrator called Eugene Venitsky, who I hadn't heard of before, but he has actually created 5 different tarot decks. And in fact, as these things go, I received a review for a blog that I curate about another of the decks that he was involved with, the Lubok Tarot, which is a tarot based on Russian folk tales and so on. So he's done quite a lot of different things. He's also done the money tarot based on different currencies. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but hey. And he combines kind of drawing things by hand with then using CGI to sort of complete the illustrations, bring in colours and different elements and so on. And in particular, the Venetian Tarot was one that caught my eye because I've always been a fan of kind of the Venetian masks, and this is based on the idea of there are Venetian masks in all of the cards, I think, and the Venetian Carnival, the Venetian Masquerade, this time where you wear quite interesting costumes and these amazing masks, which of course are all about what you hide, what you show, the face that you show to the public. So interesting concepts going on there, and how they might meld and mesh with traditional tarot archetypes is something that I'm very looking forward to finding out. So let's dive into the Venetian Tarot. There's a lovely feel to the box. It opens and closes very nicely. It's not magnetic, but it still has a nice feel to it. Very good quality, lovely design and patterning. And we have gilt edge cards and a little white book with some spreads, a discussion about Venice and the tarot, and then a couple of pages for each card with a little grayscale, meaning and reversed. So nicely done. And just a page each for the minors, like that. And that's it. So let's take a look at the cards themselves. And they come in an unusual order. I'm sure we'll find everything eventually. So, a gorgeous chariot moving towards us. And it has to be said that the colour on these is absolutely stunning. There's a richness to them, really beautiful illustrations. So the chariot is actually a boat, but then that does make sense within Venice. Death with a very harsh mask. Lovely moon on the waters and that red cloak. The devil, the emperor, the empress. Wonderful light and vibrancy to this. There's a real old-fashioned feel, like this could be, you know, a painting from the 18th century, and such lush clothing. A Pierrot figure with a dark mask on and a light face mask below, and a jester stick. So that's a nice touch, stepping out into the water. Strength, I love that it has a lion mask for the lion, so that's a nice touch. The Wheel of Fortune, with that beautiful blue, deep blue, dark night sky kind of thing in the centre. And the numbers and the signs of the zodiac. The Hanged Man. Hermit. Oh, how very interesting that there are lots of people on the bridge above him looking out to see his light. The Hierophant with one of those nasty beaked masks. and Judgment. Oh, and they appear to be maybe skating on the ice. Interesting. Justice. And the Lovers. The Magician with his various... I can see a cup and a wand and a sword and a pentacle, yes, so they all are all there. Very interesting. The sun and the moon in there as well. Some really nice touches in these illustrations. The moon, absolutely gorgeous. The High Priestess, using these very traditional Venetian poles. And it's interesting as well because they're not even and there's not water behind her. It's a tower instead. So yeah, lots of interesting touches here to dive deep with. The star. The kind of chimera on the column behind her maybe. The sun, beautifully vibrant and with that sort of all-seeing eye. Oh, interesting, he's put the Temperance. And I love that she has this sort of luminescent wings behind her. The Tower. And the World, very playful, shall we say? So, let's just check we have everything. Yep, 22 cards there, so that's all fine, even if they're not in order. And moving on to the suit of wands, we start with the 2. All right, we're having all the 2s, maybe 2 of cups, 2 of pentacles. It's a rather lascivious 2 of cups. The artwork is just stunning. And the 2 of swords. Okay, interesting. I guess here it's almost she has the choice, they hold the swords. That's, yeah, lots to think about here. That same column with the chimera facing a different direction, and ships. So yes, quite traditional viewpoint out and looking at ships. The 3 of cups dancing together. The 3 of pentacles following a guidance to create a boat. Okay, that works nicely. And 3 of swords trapped in her room. Oh, what a wonderful feeling of celebration here in the 4. There are only 3 people, but there are 4 bouquets. 4 of cups. That's very different. So some interesting ways that you could think about the cards as well. This looks less like apathy and more like, or maybe because he's saying no to these people above. He's not taking the help that's offered. He's not accepting what life is giving him. 4 of pentacles. It's a bird that's hooded with a little crown and a pentacle, so that there's all that wealth and yet that feeling of captivity. An interesting way of doing it. And the 4 of swords. Looks a bit more like he's resting on the job, but he does have like a bandaged arm, so that idea of needing to rest up and heal. And the 5 of wands, competition. 5 of cups, choosing one person rather than another, so that's the sorrow side, perhaps. 5 of pentacles, time of hardship, they look like beggars. And the 5 of swords, oh dear, yes, very mean. 6 of wands, interesting that it's a woman being fated. The 6 of cups, charming. I love the little butterflies as well. 6 of pentacles, giving money to a musician. And 6 of swords. Interesting that here the swords are actually left behind entirely. The 7 of wands. So the wands are in the poles around him and he's poling forward with 1. Very different take once again. The 7 of cups. Illusions, lights. 7 of pentacles with barrels, and they've got different astrological symbols on them. So here he's not growing the grapes, he's stacking the barrels of wine, but there's still that element of labour and of also perhaps needing to take a break from it, though he's currently actually in the middle of it. And interesting that he's placed a kingfisher there as well. 7 of Swords, sneaky. And 8 of Wands, movement. There's not such a feeling of speed, but there is that feeling of, yeah, a lot going on. These are very big and brightly decorated ones. The 8 of Cups, leaving things behind. The 8 of Pentacles, the artist. I normally think of it more as the apprentice card, but hey, it works both ways. He could be apprentice to the master. And the 8 of Swords. Oh, trapped in one of those old blocks that they used to keep a prisoner in. But interestingly, obviously, there's the screws here, and it looks almost like if he uncovered his face, he could just free himself from it. So the covering the face does sort of bring in the implication of it's your own ideas that are in some ways trapping you, or not being willing to see possibilities of breaking free. The 9 of Wands doesn't give me quite such a trapped or defensive feeling as some, but you can sort of read that into it, I guess. The 9 of Cups, not as smug as some. The 9 of Pentacles. Interesting that here that seems to be a male figure rather than a female, so some of them are sort of swapped around in the gender in that regard. And plenty through the peacock and the greyhound. It's not a garden. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. The 9 of Swords, a very clear nightmare scenario. Some interesting artwork in the back. It'll be interesting to read in the booklet what some of these things are, because clearly they're taken from, you know, Venetian landscape and art and architecture. The 10 of Wands, that's a heavy burden of masks. The 10 of Cups, oh wow. So you've got these kind of cherubim in the sky as clouds come angels. There's this feel of joy. So instead of having a rainbow, they have cherubim. Well, there's kind of a rainbow effect too. The artwork really is very beautiful, and these montages are very nicely done, so that, you know, there are hand-drawn elements, there are bits that are obviously taken from photographic aspects, but it's really nicely done. 10 of Pentacles, I guess there's the legacy, you know, it's a building that's been around for ages, and yeah. And the 10 of Swords, stabbed in the back. Ugh. And here we have our aces, Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, I love that. The veil, sort of, yeah, and the rainbow. A lot of interesting, very different and yet still quite clear symbolism, I would say. The Ace of Pentacles. Obviously, it's a very watery deck overall. So it's interesting, the pentacle is kind of part of the sun almost. And a bright shining sword, a bird soaring away. And now we have the court cards. So, the King of Wands, the King of Cups with a book. Interesting. King of Pentacles, looking very rich, abundant. Look at his castle and his costume. And the King of Swords. The Knave of Wands, I presume is the page. The Knave of Cups. Once again, a letter and a lyre, so that's nice. The Knave of Pentacles with a bird and a book. Student, yes. I don't know. It's not very earthy, but then Venice is not a very earthy city. And the Knave of Swords with Punch and Judy show. So yes, that sort of idea of sneakiness, backstabbing talk, yeah, and also wit and humour. The Knight of Wands in quite a dark scene. The Knight of Cups, ladies' man. The Knight of Pentacles, protecting his treasure. And the Knight of Swords charging around with a love letter, or maybe he's read something and now he's charging off to find out about what's going on. Oh, beautiful Queen of Wands. She's one of my favourites, and you know, the big cat and the wonderful mask and costume and wand, it's all stunning. The Queen of Cups, a lot more composed and quiet. There's a little fish in the background as well, nice touch. The Queen of Pentacles with a box, so that could contain some delightful treasure, and her hat has fruit on it, golden fruit. It's almost like a crown of fruit. And the Queen of Swords with a mirror. What do you see? What do you reflect back to others? The mind and what it notices. So absolutely stunning cards, really beautiful. I love the artwork. I think it's very nicely done, and I can't wait to see what the book says about all the different symbolism and so on. We have this very old-fashioned kind of back, fully reversible, very beautiful. It looks like old wallpaper or something like that. Yeah, nice. Kind of Liberty print or something of the sort. The deck doesn't quite fit into a single hand. The cards are thicker than that. But they do shuffle fairly nicely. And I know a lot of people don't like riffling gilt edges. They don't always take it well. I'll give it one try, but I don't often riffle gilt edges. They actually riffle smoothly. The cardstock quality is very nice. So yes, beautiful deck, very nice production standards, and Ace of Pentacles, a lovely card for a new beginning. The potential to be inspired in your physical or financial endeavours, your material endeavours. That's what I see here for today. Blessed be.